Hello everyone. So today we are going to start unit number 8. Unfortunately we cannot start this in the classroom, so I will just explain some vocabulary related to this unit, which is not very important or very how to say, something that you are going to use a lot, but you just need to have an idea about it. Okay, so unit number 8 is about international organizations. Okay, so what does it mean, international? So it's something that is global, something that is universal, that has to do with the whole world, not only one country but everyone on earth. Okay, organization, we explain this one. What does it mean, organization? So organization, what do we mean by international organizations? Are organizations that work internationally. Okay, so for example, if I ask about, for example, local organization or national organization, organizations that works only in one country. We take for example let's say we take for example madrasa.com. I think we studied this one in reading. So madrasa.com is a Moroccan organization. Okay, so that one is not international because it works only in Morocco. But international organization, like for example UNICEF. So UNICEF works in all the world, not only in one country but for everyone around the world. Okay, so this is what does it mean, international organizations. So an international organization is an organization with an international membership, scope or presence. So an international organization doesn't work only in one country, like for example in Brazil or United States or Norway or Australia or wherever it is, but it works in all the world. Okay, for all the world, internationally. Okay, this is a short definition that you have to copy actually in your notebooks. These are some examples of international organizations. Okay, if you see here, we have, like for example, CARE, this one about Save the Children's, World Vision, which has to do with television and everything, Oxfam, and a lot of other organizations. In here we have some abbreviation. What do we mean by abbreviation? Abbreviation is some letters that give for example, when we have long name, instead of writing United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, we write only UNESCO. So U is United, N is Nations, E is Educational, S Scientific, and C is Cultural, and O is Organization. Okay, and here we have UNICEF, and UNICEF stands for United Nations Children's Emergency Funds, and here we have UNHCR, which is United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. It has to do with refugees. WHO, World Health Organization, like it's the organization that gives all the information about world health, like health diseases or healthcare or something like what is going on in coronavirus. So World Health Organization is an organization that is trying to find a solution for diseases such as coronavirus, which is the situation right now in the world. FAO, it's Food and Agriculture Organization. So this organization deals with food and agriculture in all the world. ICRC is International Committee of the Red Cross. So this one has to do with the Red Cross. This one, Red Cross, is this. TI, Transparency International. EI, Amnesty International. So here we have some types, or for example some types or some let's say some international organizations, and what do they work for, or what is their goal, what is their function. Okay, so fighting epidemics around the world. What do we mean by epidemics? Epidemic is like coronavirus. Coronavirus is an epidemic. Okay, so this one has to do with health World Organization. Okay, sorry, before we go to that, we are explaining one by one. We are starting from this. So here we have providing medical care during disasters. Okay, so this one deals with during disasters. For example, when we have an earthquake or fire or war, like in Syria. So this organization, it provides medical care. Okay, it sends doctors, medicines, and a lot of other things. Eliminating poverty and famine. So this organization is fighting the poverty and famine. Famine is hunger. It's from hungry. Safeguarding human rights. So this organization, it takes care of the human rights. We explained what does it mean human rights in unit number 7. Caring for refugees. Okay, so refugees, what does it mean refugees? Refugees are people who are forced to move from their country due to some circumstances. For example, people in Syria have a lot of war and a lot of problems, so they cannot stay in Syria, so they move to another country. Like what they move, like for example, in Germany we have a lot of Syrian refugees. So refugees are people who goes to another country due to some circumstances. So caring for refugees, this organization takes care of refugees. Regulating business exchange in the world. So this organization, it deals with business, okay, business exchange around the world, okay, and we go one by one. So for example, we have here Oxfam, so it has to do with eliminating poverty and famine. Then we have Amnesty International. Can you guess what does it deal with? So it has to take care of it safeguards the human rights, okay. Next one, UN High Commissioner for Refugees takes care of refugees. So it's clear that it has to do with refugees. So here we have Doctors Without Frontiers. So doctors, so it has doctors, then it has to do with medical care or something. Okay, so this organization sends doctors during disasters. The World Health Organization, okay, it's WHO, so fighting epidemics around the world. So now this organization is fighting epidemics, and I explained earlier epidemics like coronavirus or like what happened in H1N1 or other diseases that not affect only one country but affects the whole world. So we have only one that is left, World Trade Organization, which is regulating business exchange in the world. Okay, so this is, I think you studied this one in social studies, in geography. So we are going to move to explain some words that are related to international organizations. So here we have this one. I think you know what does it mean, this one, when we have here, like for example, where we have the judges, the jury, the judge, and we have the lawyer, okay, and the defender, and so on, and so on. So this is what we call court, okay, court. And court, we have different types of courts. Okay, so this one, like for example, when we create a new organization, we make some document that talks about what are the principles of this organization. So this one is the peoples of the United Nations. Okay, so this paper deals with United Nations. It's considered as a document to regulate the United Nations. So it is what we call charter. Okay, charter. Here we have relationship between different countries, like for example United States, England, Russia, India, or whatever it is. This one is European Union, Germany, France, China, and so on. Okay, so the relationship between people, I don't know if this is India or Iran, anyway, one of them. So the relationship between different countries, the relationship, okay, like to have connections. So that's what we call diplomacy. Okay, diplomacy. So here we explain some words, like for example charter, I explained that, court, Sanctions, we are going to see what is sanctions. Diplomacy, bilateral, and violation. Okay, violation. So charter. What is a charter? We said it's a written statement of the main functions and principles of an organization. Okay, that's what we call charter. Court, a body of people who look into and resolve conflicts between people. What does it mean, conflicts? Conflicts like when we have problems between two people or more than two people, so they have some problems between each other, so they go to the court, and the court, it has a lot of people, we call it a body of people. They take care of those conflicts or to resolve them, to find a solution. Sanctions. What are sanctions? Measures taken by the United Nations to force a state to conform to an international agreement. Okay, so we have an international agreement. You know what does it mean, agreement? It is coming from agree. So agreement, international agreement, it means that all the countries in the world agree to that international agreement. They agree on something. But when we have one, for example, one state or one country doesn't agree, then the United Nations, they take some kind of measures or actions which we call sanctions. Diplomacy, we said management of relations between countries. Okay, so when we have diplomacy, like for example, we have the ambassador for example, Morocco has different ambassadors around the world in different countries. Why they have ambassadors? Because they need relations, okay, to manage the relations between Morocco and other countries. Bilateral, so when we have bilateral, when we have the word starting with bi, it always has to do with two things or two parts. Okay, two parts. Bi, okay, it has to do with two parts. So bilateral, involving or relating to two countries. Okay, so something that has to do with two countries. Okay, we have some problem or something or some measure or whatever it is that has to do with only two countries, we call it bilateral. Violation is disrespect, disobedience, or refusal to comply with the law. For example, when we have a law, you know what does it mean, law? I think we explained that in the previous unit. So law, what does it when we have a law, okay, everyone respect it. So if someone doesn't respect it or doesn't obey or refuse to comply to this law, we call it violation. So this is just some definitions, and I want you to stop the video here and copy all of this in your notebooks. This is another exercise. I want you to do this exercise as soon as possible and send it to me. Okay, so we read the text, this text, and we have the words that I explained. Okay, and you have to put them. What is number 1, what is number 2, number 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so and again, this is the second exercise. So you have two exercises to do, to send them to me. Okay, read this text, do this one. So this is exercise number 1, and exercise number 2 is this. If you have the power to make an international organization, what would its goals be? Okay, choose a name and design a logo for your organization. Okay, what do you have to do is you choose a name. For example, you are imagining that you have the power to make an organization around the world. Okay, so you have the power to create a new organization, international organization. So choose a name. Okay, what is the name you want your organization, and design a logo. What does it mean, a logo? I will explain what is a logo. For example, this. Let's go back. Yes, okay, those are the logos. So this is the logo of Oxfam, of ActionAid, Compassion, Payan, just one word, whatever it is, scaffold, or what is it, Amnesty International. So those are logos. Okay, this is logo. So you have to design a logo to your organization. Okay. and give it a name. Okay, so now you have two exercises. I will write them in the description. Also, we have here some vocabulary that is related to international organizations, such as officials. It means of persons. Spokesman is the person who speaks. We have deputy, diplomat, okay, vice president, commissioner, ambassador, secretary general. So all of them are a vocabulary of describing officials or people. Okay, then we have documents, like for example charter, resolution, report, declaration, constitution. You can explain this one yourselves. Establishment, it means like places. Assembly General, headquarters, Congress, court, council, or a lot of other things. Okay, so also this table you have to copy it in your on your notebooks. Okay, thank you and stay safe.